Have you observed what has happened in the gospel readings the last 2 Sundays? In both cases, Jesus interacts personally with someone. And in the course of that interaction, that person comes to belief in the Messiah. But Jesus isn't among us today. So how is it that we come to belief? And I would suggest to you that, like Paul, who once persecuted the Christian church, it is possible for you and for me to have a personal experience of Jesus Christ. Oh, perhaps it won't be like Paul, where he gets stopped on the road to Damascus. But within each of our lives, we have either chosen not to be a faithful person, or we once had faith and walked away from it, or we choose to live in such a way that it's all about us and nobody else, and we don't care if God's around. But at some point, we come to a realization within ourselves of our own mortality, of our own need for immortality, and a desire to have a spiritual element to our lives. And at that point, you and I are ready to meet the Lord. And either through some experience, perhaps with another person, perhaps through music or through nature, there is usually some catalyst. It could be a catastrophic event in your family or in your life, but it triggers that need for Christ that is so intense that you're finally ready and open to meet the Lord. And at that point, you become a Christian. Today, we keep hearing about the blind seeing. And you and I, many times in our lives, walk this world blind to the truth of God's love. Sometimes we get too caught up in the concept of church. And we look at the church as the building or as an institution with all of its rules and regulations. And we fail to see the central piece of what Christ says to us. And that central piece is that you and I are loved. We are beloved of God. In a few moments, 2 of our members who have responded to the call of Christ in their life will come forth to celebrate the second scrutiny on their journey to their baptism at Easter. For them, they recognize their need for Christ. For them, they're ready to publicly commit their lives to Christ. For those of us that are already baptized, the question becomes, are we living out our baptismal commitment our baptismal rights to minister to the world in the name of Christ? Or have we become like Pharisees today and become blind again to the truth? My prayer is that each of us has their eyes open to the truth and live it day by day and moment for moment.